Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. We got to talk about those Golden Eagles, and you know who I'm going to first on this one. Marquette 87, Villanova 74. Jerel, it had to feel good to finally get that monkey off your back and get that W. Tyler Kolek, 21 points, 11 assists. Is he back? Is Marquette back?
I think it was a great step in the right direction, and just for the record, I won't say that they're back because I don't think they ever officially left. Obviously, they hit a little bit of a
Good
low
answer.
point throughout the course of a season, but they bounced back with a really big game tonight, and it was to be honest, it kind of felt a little bit like a must-win game. Just being at home, they've been so good at home throughout the course of the last couple years that it couldn't have been possible for them to go back to back and lose back to back home games. So we knew it was going to be a feisty Villanova team coming in, especially with Justin Moore returning off an injury. But those guys put it together. TK got off to a little bit of a slow start. Finished great, had a hell of a stat line at the end, man. But for me, I still felt like he was a little bit out of it early on, at least offensively, shooting wise, just scoring the ball wise, but everything else was on point. But man, major shout out to Cam Jones, man, and Oso Iguodaro. I thought those guys carried us, pretty much start to finish as well, man. So those guys played great. They were able to put together a couple runs there in the second half and kind of put the game out of reach. And just for Marquette Nation, apparently the sky isn't falling. We were able to get back on track here, get a big win versus Villanova, and some promising minutes as well too for some of the young guys. Zay Lowry and Trey Norman played some good minutes there. Lowry hit two big threes to kind of get the lid off the basket for us early on in that first half. But just a really good all around team win, and they were pretty impressive on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, Tyler, has the last 2 weeks, has that changed the way that you view Marquette? Has it changed what you think their ceiling can be this year?
Not for me personally. I'm a big believer in Tyler Kolek, but for me, I thought that Villanova was a sleeper team, and I felt like if they lost this game, um, it would be tough to change their perception. A lot of people have, and I think Villanova is going to be a team that's going to get better as the season goes on. And I'm a big fan of the Eric Dixon kid. I think he's a mismatch problem, and I know Iguodala had a big day. But those three players, Kolek, Cam Jones, and Iguodala, for Marquette, those are three good players, and they can win you ball games. They're also more veteran players, and so I think they're going to figure out how to turn it around. But for me, I know Villanova, they have pretty much a lot of new guys on their team, but they also have a pretty talented team. And I think they're a team that can compete with anybody if they play on the same page and really developing the team that I think they can be. Like Justin Moore coming back off an injury. I knew this game was going to be a battle. And, I had a hard time deciding pregame which team I actually thought was going to be better, Villanova or Marquette. I'm talking about big picture when it comes to the Big East. And I thought Marquette did a good job of pulling away at the end, like a lot of veteran teams do, making plays that win you the ball game, late in the second. And I thought that's what really separated Marquette.
Yeah, Jarrell, the big thing is when you look at this Marquette team, when they're going to get 21 and 11 from Kolek, and they're going to get 22 on 10 to 12 shooting from Cam Jones, and they're going to get 18-7, 5 assists, 3 steals on 9 of 11 shooting from Oso, we kind of know that's the cheat code for Marquette, right? When the big three plays like the big three, they're going to win some games. My question still is, what happens when those three don't end up having a big game? Because inevitably there's going to be a point in time when someone can slow down Cam Jones, and when defenses can figure out that pick and roll with Kolek and Iguodala. And we'll talk a little bit about Villanova's defense here in a second, which spoiler alert was not really all that promising. But my concern with Marquette is still that the supporting cast around that big three. And they didn't really need to do anything today, but that's where my concern is. Without Chase Ross, without Sean Jones, I think that kind of limits what you can be defensively with this group. To me, those are their two best on-ball defenders, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would throw Stevie Mitchell in that too. But
Mhm.
just overall, just like what you spoke to, Rob. And I've kind of been saying it all year. And obviously I got my Marquette bias, but I've been saying it all year. The way that their team makeup is built is just the margin for error is just very thin. I mean, and it kind of just is what it is. So when you say what happens when those the big three doesn't play well is they struggle and at times they kind of look like almost anybody in the Big East can beat them when those guys aren't on and aren't clicking. But at the same time, nights like tonight when they're all kind of clicking on all cylinders like this and they play in the high 80s getting close to 90 points, it's not a whole lot of teams you could throw out there that I could say I think can beat them. So I mean, I think they did a great job tonight. Early on, they switched in and out of the zone early on in the first half. And some of it was out of necessity because I know some of those guys got in foul trouble. And even though Ross and Sean Jones are out, I know Shaka didn't want to go too far into the bench, but he kind of let Armstrong get in the rhythm a little bit. He got some really easy catch and shoot threes. A couple of those guys started getting hot a little bit, but once they came out in that second half and they switched in and out from back and forth to that man to man, they kind of shored up some of those looks and things like that. But a big turning point in that game too that I just like to mention, and it's just a small thing that I noticed, and they've done it throughout the course of the season. They activated Point Oso, man. They made Oso the primary ball handler for a minute, and they ran a little Spanish pick and roll with the high ball screen with the back screen to the shooter popping out with Cam and Kolek, man, and they got some really good looks doing an important part of that game, man. And Oso is so versatile, and he's such a good passer with his size, man. That's NBA type stuff. You don't see a ton of that type of stuff in college basketball, but it was a nice little wrinkle that they threw in tonight, and it helped them kind of get over the hump and get going offensively.
Do you guys think Oso can play in the league? Tyler, why don't you take that first? Do you think he's an NBA guy? I know Shocker in the preseason has been compared him quite a bit with us to Draymond Green in terms of what he can provide. I don't know if he's quite that level. Draymond Green's probably a Hall of Famer, but I think Oso's there's a job for him in the league somewhere.
Well, the funny thing is, if we would ask this question about Draymond in college, we would have never imagined him having the career that he has right now. I mean, was Draymond an NBA player when he's at Michigan State? That would be a question we'd be asking before. But yeah, I think there's a spot. He has the size, he has the athleticism, he has all the skills. Obviously, I think he needs to develop more and put up bigger stats to really get the recognition. He's going to get that playing with Kolek and Cam Jones right now. But if he keeps developing, and I will say for all big men, don't just run away from your back to the basket skills. And I still think there's a lot to be said, and there's a lot of value in being able to score around the rim and create your own shot close to the rim. And I know it's not it's something that NBA guys are looking for right now, but I do think there's value in that. I do think that he has the ability to, put the ball on the floor and, be a versatile big man, and he has that size. So yes, I think there is a team that will give him a chance and definitely a look. He has athleticism, he has a size, and he has a skill. It's just, who's going to take that shot?
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.